Hello everyone, welcome to second part of experiment number 2, Williams line test. Uh, Objective of this experiment is to determine the frictional power, brake power, indicated power of a constant speed diesel engine and to determine the brake thermal efficiency, indicated thermal efficiency and mechanical efficiency of the engine. Already in part 1 we have taken the readings. So here are those readings. Engine load, which can be denoted as W, time for 10 cc of fuel consumption denoted as T, engine speed denoted as N, and these are the readings which has been taken. Now let us do the sample calculation. Okay, so first thing we have to calculate. Now if I want to cover this result table, so first column is brake power. How to calculate? Let us calculate brake power, percentage load, then fuel consumption in kg per hour and kg per second, and then we'll have with the help of engine power and fuel consumption we'll draw a graph, and from graph itself we are going to calculate how much is the frictional power. After getting the frictional power, we'll calculate indicated power, mechanical efficiency, brake thermal efficiency and indicated thermal efficiency. Okay, so first let us start with brake power. Or it is also called as engine output. Formula to calculate the brake power is W, that is load on the engine, multiplied by N, engine RPM, divided by C. So for first reading, if we see the load on the engine, okay, once we go for first reading, the load is 0, so automatically the brake power will be equal to 0. So instead of calculating doing the sample calculation for first reading, let us do it for the second reading. Okay, now in that case, in the second reading, the load on the engine is 3.6 and engine RPM is 1557 RPM. Okay, so load on the engine is 3.6 multiplied by engine RPM 1557 divided by engine constant or brake dynamometer constant we can say, and that constant for water brake dynamometer is 2682. Okay, and after solving you will get that the brake power produces 282.089 kilowatt. Okay, the units will be in kilowatt, so please note that this formula directly gives the unit in kilowatt. The next calculation which we have to do is the percentage. Now for doing the percentage calculation, we require, what is the formula in that case, is brake power produced upon maximum brake power of that engine, how much it can produce. Okay, so in that case let us see the engine specification. In that we have seen that maximum brake power that engine can produce is 9.7. So in this case it will be brake power, we have to take the same 2.089 divided by 9.7. so from this you will get that the percentage power produced is 21.53. Okay, so we have done the calculation for brake power and percentage load for the second reading. So here I can write 0.289. Okay, then the percentage load is 21.53. Okay, and for first reading brake power will be 0, percentage load will be again 0. Okay, so then Next is the calculation for fuel consumption. Let us do the calculation for fuel consumption. Yes, in the previous formula, the brake power, W and N we have taken from observation table, and this value, okay, this value is constant. Okay, we can say it is a, this value is dynamo constant, dynamometer constant. Okay, for each dynamometer this constant will be given, so you don't have to worry about that. Then next is the fuel consumption, second reading. Fuel consumption. Okay, so for fuel consumption, let us take the unit as Q dot F, and in that the formula will be T, sorry, for how much cc we have taken the fuel consumption, that we have to take, divided by T into the specific gravity of fuel divided by 1000. Okay, so in this cc, 10 cc we have measured for 10 cc. How much is the time consumed will be 27.63. For second reading we are doing calculation for second reading, so that's why we are going to take the same 27.63, 27.63 multiply by the specific gravity of fuel, that is diesel is 0.84 divided by 1000. Now from where we got this specific gravity, so you have to refer this annexure, that is specification. So here you can see the specific gravity of fuel is 0.84. So the same thing I have taken here. So from this I can calculate the fuel consumption is 3.04 into 10 raised to minus 4 kg per second. So you will get this value in kg per second. Okay, so this value you will get, that is fuel consumption in kg per second. Okay, so we have calculated fuel consumption in kg per second. Now let us see how to do the calculation for kg per hour. Okay, if I want to convert this into kg per hour, so for that 3.04 multiply by 10 raised to minus 4, this is in kg per second, so multiply this with 3600. So when you multiply by 3600 you will get 1.0944, and this unit will be kg per hour. So here we can calculate kg per hour and kg per second. So this was the first set of reading. So after calculating all the parameters, so directly I'll take down the reading so that we can go for the next parameter, that is how to plot the graph. So first reading was 0, second is 2.89, third is 4.128. Okay, this we have to do by calculation. Okay, 6.251, 8.107, and the sixth reading gives me the value of 9.97. Okay, so this will be 21.53, okay, 42.56, 64, sorry, this one is our 42.56, 64.43. This value is 83.57, and final value will be somewhat greater than 100, but we have to write it as 100. Please note that because this value is 9.97, so it will be coming around 1 sorry, 110, 107. Okay, so but engine cannot produce, so there is some error in that while reading. So let us take that as 100%. So we are increasing the load on the engine as from 0 to 100%, from that is the brake power on the engine. Similarly, the fuel consumption for first reading it is 8.33. So we have to calculate for all the readings. Okay, then for second is 1.094, 1.414. You have to do the calculation for each reading, but in lab manual you have to show only one sample calculation. No need to show each and every calculation. Just you have to show one sample calculation, that how you have calculated. Then similarly this will be 2.31 into 10 raised to 10 raised to minus 4. Minus 4. Okay, so what I'll take this value and I'll paste it here. So it is common for all the reading because all readings will be in the same pattern. Okay, the next is 3.04 into 10 raised to minus 4, 3.93, 5.08, 5.58 and 7.58. All are in terms 10 raised to minus 4. Okay, after getting this value, now we have to plot the graph. Okay, instead of without graph we cannot move further, so for calculating the frictional power we have to plot a graph. So how to plot the graph and how to get the value of frictional power? So for plotting the graph, okay, so in that you can do this on in Excel, or you can plot a graph on a plain graph paper. So in which, while plotting the graph, the x-axis will represent the brake power and y-axis will represent fuel consumption. Okay, then you have to take these points, the brake power and fuel consumption. Okay, so let us take those points. You can take it in kg per second. Directly you can take those values. Okay, these values. So this will be kg per second, and this is brake power in kilowatt. Okay, so when you plot all those points, you will get that the first point will be somewhere on this line. Okay, I'll take the other color so it will be easier for identifying. Okay, I'll take this color. So the first point, similarly you will get the second one, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Somewhere you will get. The next thing is you have to draw a line, straight line passing through maximum points. So draw a line which will be passing through maximum points. So this is my line which is representing the frictional power, and if I pull this line is called as Williams line, and if I pull it wherever it intersect with x-axis, right? So you have to record this point, how much is the reading. So this reading will give you the frictional power, whatever is that reading. So you have to record that. So in for above calculation it will be having value of 4. Okay, so in this case our value is frictional power is 4. Is that clear? So you select the suitable scale for drawing the graph and check how where that line intersect. So here and there it can range from 4.5 to 3.5. Okay, this is the range. Okay, this is the range. So don't worry if your value is from 4.5 to 3.5, then it's okay. No need to worry about, because this is an experimental method for calculating the frictional power. So once you get this, so our frictional power is 4. Now how to calculate the indicated power? So for calculating the indicated power now, once we know the frictional power, so here I'll write down in sample calculation itself the third term, that is I will reuse this different color so that it will be indicating that it has to be calculated from graph. Okay, I'll write here from graph. Okay, so that frictional power, I'll short form for that is 4 kilowatt. Okay, FP 4 kilowatt. Okay, next the next term, I change the color now. This value is just with the help of formula based. Everything you have to calculate by formula. Now next you have to calculate, that is indicated power. Bear with my handwriting, it is difficult to write on screen. Okay, so indicated power, the formula for calculating the indicated power is brake power plus frictional power. So indicated power is brake power plus frictional power. So for first reading the brake power was 2.089 plus 4. So our indicated power is 0.689. Okay, in this way we can calculate the indicated power for second reading. So I can write here 6.089 and so on. You can just, what you have to do, this plus this will be written here. Okay, 2 point, so this will be 6.31. Here I can write, it can be written as 6.31. Just you have to add these two terms and you have to write there. Okay, so this was regarding the indicated power. Now next term which we have to calculate, let us see, that is mechanical efficiency. The formula for mechanical efficiency is given brake power upon indicated power. So from where we will get the brake power? Brake power 0 upon indicated power. So this term will be it will tends to infinity. So let us keep it as dash, because whenever the brake power is 0, okay, so no need to calculate this. First reading will skip. So that's why I have selected the second reading, so that I can show each and every calculation. Okay, this term you can calculate, sorry, this term you can calculate. If you are getting the value, then you can write that. So I'll show this for second reading, that is fifth term, mechanical efficiency. Mechanical efficiency formula is brake power upon indicated power multiplied by 100. So brake power is 2.089 divided by 6.089 multiplied by 100. So you will get brake power as 34.31%. So this was regarding the mechanical efficiency. Sixth term which we are going to calculate, that is indicated thermal efficiency. Okay, so formula for the indicated thermal efficiency, or we can calculate brake thermal efficiency. Instead of going in the other way, just calculate whatever the sequences that will follow. So brake thermal efficiency, the formula for brake thermal efficiency is, okay, brake thermal efficiency, brake power upon m dot f, fuel consumption, into CV. What is CV? CV is the calorific value of the fuel. From where you are going to get the value of CV? brake fuel consumption m dot f or q dot f. Here we can write this value as m dot f. Okay, this is also m dot f. Okay, or we can say it is q dot f. And cv, the calorific value of fuel, it is given 4200 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so from this engine specification you can get that value. So for calculating the brake thermal efficiency, sorry, 0.89 is the brake power divided by 2.31 into 10 raised to minus 4 multiplied by 4200. Okay, how much is the, let us check. Okay, take the actual value, whatever 2.31 it is, we have taken it for the first reading. Okay, so you can calculate the brake thermal efficiency for the first reading. You can calculate that and you can note down. Similarly, get the, for second reading the value will be, okay, can just erase this parent term. And for second reading, how much is the, say, 3.04. So I can write here 3.04. Okay, so calculate that value and note it down. Next is the indicated thermal efficiency. Indicated thermal efficiency, the formula is indicated power upon m dot f into cv. This value will be in kilowatt, this will be in kg per second, this will be in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so you have to keep in mind the unit, same units we have to follow. Okay, now, so indicated thermal efficiency you can calculate. How much is the indicated power for second reading? 6.089. Okay, so same value we are going to take. The value is 6.089 divided by m dot f 3.404 into 10 raised to minus 4 multiplied by cv 4 to 000. It is actually 000. You take the 4 to 000. Okay, and then calculate the thermal efficiency. So with the help of this we can calculate the result value. Next is the graphs. Okay, after doing this we have to draw the graphs, for comparison of various parameters. Okay, now for drawing the graph, which are the three graphs which you have to draw. Okay, so in that the first graph will represent the mechanical efficiency versus you have to calculate the percentage load. Okay, this will be the first graph. The second graph will represent, you have to draw three different graphs. Second graph will represent indicated thermal efficiency versus percentage load, and the third graph which we have to draw, that is brake thermal efficiency versus percentage load. How will be the nature of the curve? That also I'll show you. The nature of the curve will be somewhat, in this case the first graph, the mechanical, will be somewhat like this. Then for brake thermal efficiency it will be somewhat like this, and even indicated thermal efficiency, nature of curve, and brake thermal efficiency, it will be somewhat like this. Okay, so this will be the nature of curve, and after which you have to write down the conclusion. This part you have to complete by yourself. So with the help of this we can complete our second experiment, that is Williams line test, to calculate the frictional power. Our aim is to calculate frictional power, brake power, and indicate all the other efficiency. Thank you.